Peace 1905, The End of the Russo-Japanese War, is a two-player, card-driven game where players attempt to out-negotiate each other on a series of diplomatic issues. Skillful handling of negotiations will see the war concluded with a treaty, and likely one player getting the better share of the agreement. But without care, the conference can implode and the war will continue. Once learned, each game takes around 30 minutes to play. The Portsmouth Peace Conference lasted for 18 days in August 1905, as delegations from Russia and Japan responded to President Roosevelt's invitation. But with the sides so far apart on numerous key issues, the Russian Tsar had stipulated no territorial concessions or reparation payments, and the Japanese Emperor wanted exactly those things and much more, what real hope was there that both sides could find a mutually satisfactory resolution? In history, the answer is found in the Treaty of Portsmouth, a complex and significant diplomatic achievement, for which, for his part in facilitating and assisting, President Roosevelt was the first American to receive the Nobel Peace Prize. In Peace 1905, you, the players, will have Roosevelt's assistance, but the work of successfully negotiating is down to you. Will you end the war and bring a peace your governments approve of, or will the conference end in failure and the war ignite again? Each player represents either the delegation from Imperial Russia, led by former Finance Minister Sergei Witt, or the delegation from Imperial Japan, led by Foreign Minister Komura Jutaro. The game is played over a series of 4 negotiating rounds. Each round begins with the reveal of an event card, modifying certain game conditions. In each round, 3 issues will be presented, with each of these issues being worth a corresponding amount of victory points, a VP. With this amount varying depending on which side wins, issues are not worth the same to each delegation. Players collect VP to win the game. VP is tracked on the cards and with supplemental tokens from a central pool. To win an issue, players play from their hand of position cards, offering a position on each issue, which will influence the final text of the treaty. Each position card represents a strength of argument and commitment, quantified through a value from 0 to 4. In essence, the position card with the highest value will win the issue. In the event of a tie, the delegates find a compromise, which can be somewhat beneficial to both sides, but a lower VP gain results. But diplomacy is a delicate business, and pressing the other delegation too hard, riding roughshod over them, will result in talks breaking down, and the blame for this will fall on the offending party, something the press will likely condemn them for in the eyes of world opinion. With each play of a position card, it's likely that tension will rise. The cards you play increase the tension felt by the other player. Tension is tracked by taking a tension token from the central pile. Each token represents 1 point of tension. If, at the end of any negotiating round, your own tension level is ever at 7 or higher, you storm out of the conference, but your opponent is held responsible for their reckless behaviour. They lose the game. You didn't bring peace, but you didn't bring shame to your government. Diplomacy can be complex too. Each delegation must also contend with the orders of their home government. If they don't manage to satisfy the majority of their orders from home, talks will also break down, and both nations will be blamed. Each side has 3 secret objective tokens corresponding to different issues. If a player wins an issue, which is also their secret objective, they receive a +2 VP bonus. If, after the final round, it is revealed that a player has lost 2 or more issues connected to its secret objectives, then talks break down. The game is lost by both players. You were not sufficiently accommodating if you won too many of someone else's secret objectives, but you were too pliant if you lost too many of your own secret objectives. However, if both players share the same secret objective, it won't count against their total of losses. Their government recognizes that there must be some give and take in such delicate circumstances. If the talks continue through to a successful treaty, the delegation with the most VP accumulated over the course of the game wins, reflecting this delegation gaining the better share of the treaty's agreed articles. To recap, diplomatic victory, you have the most victory points after the game's final round, the war ends, the treaty will be ratified. Public opinion victory, you have your own tension at 7 or higher at the end of any round. The war continues, but it is not your fault. Diplomatic failure, you both lose if either of you lost 2 or more issues, which were also your hidden objectives, as revealed after the final round. The war continues. Both parties are to blame. The game appears simple enough. Play high-value position cards to win the issues you need. But you need to control the amount of tension you're making your opponent absorb, at the same time as taking care to win your hidden objectives, or being mindful enough of when you might be sharing the same hidden objective as your opponent. We hope you enjoyed tussling your way through a representation of a thorny conference, which was, at the time, a far from certain outcome. We hope our experiment demonstrates some novel design approaches for simulating conflict over a negotiation table, something history sees plenty of, but has been rarely gained. We leave you with some words from Theodore Roosevelt as you take your first steps in the world of Peace 1905. The only man who never makes mistakes is the man who never does anything.